shit. It's 1,000. Spin that shit. Spin that shit. Spin that shit. Shit, you coming? Spin the check and get it right back.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Eazyy TV, bringing you guys another Division 2 video. I've been getting a lot of questions lately about basically how I really feel about TU6. What do I feel about the state of the game right now? And I just want to do a video talking about it, where I think the game is right now, where it could be in the future, what they should bring into the game if they want to bring back a nice player base. So first things first, TU6. TU6 was a good update. It's a great update. The targeted looted stuff and the less resources for basically recalibration, the new weapons they have, things like that. The different vendors most vendors have good stuff now, especially like the Thieves Den vendor or Cassie Mendoza, stuff like that. So those are good additions that they brought in the game. Other good things that they brought in the game is making sure, like Kinley College, you can get the diamond back, and some of these like Camp White Oak and all those missions be like our strongholds, I believe. They in rotation with that, so that gives you more of an PvE content experience to, you know, farm for different stuff. And the targeted loot system is dope as hell, because I was able to complete at least 5 builds from top to bottom. Now how I really wanted them, but for everything else, what I did, the targeted loot stuff, is just I was able to put builds together, not really have to worry about pieces. I can roll off pieces and things like that. I also like the perfect talents in a sense, but I don't like the perfect talents, and I'm gonna explain why. So the perfect talents are just a lazy version of something that we already had in TU5. Some of them are not, but like, let's say perfect berserk. Like, we had berserk, you guys did not have to nerf berserk. You couldn't even stack berserk, so it didn't need to be like a perfect talent. I can see if it was like a unique talent that you couldn't stack, and I can see a perfect version of it, but you could not stack berserk. Berserk only came on one piece, and that was it. I still like the fact that even though they did nerf damage to elites, you can still in a sense compensate, like on the mask. The masks, they give out like 53, 54% hard hitting with different mods and stuff like that, can get you up there to like 100% damage to elites, which is not bad. So they did different stuff like that to where they didn't want everything being the same, and they didn't want you running the same exact things, which is cool. So they changed some things around. I don't think explosive damage should have been a unique skill. It should have been, you know, you should have been able to stack it, point blank period. Now, one of the problems that I am having for TU6, still in the PvE content side, is that for me, I've seen it's very hard for me to get those exotic knee pads. I have been farming and farming and farming since TU6 has come out, and I cannot get the exotic knee pads. I've been doing all the right, fighting the right characters, everything. I've actually been getting more exotic weapons than I have getting the knee pads. I finally got the Sweet Dreams 2 times in TU6. I've never gotten the Sweet Dreams before this. That's really the only exotic that I got. Maybe they should up the exotic drop rate on some of these, you know, guns that's already in the game, or pestilence. Like, I've been in the DZ, can't get the pestilence. They should do different stuff like that to actually upgrade, or basically up the chance to get certain exotics. But all in all, for TU6, it is a good update. It's a good update. I'm not even going to lie. I'm not going to bash it. It's a good update. It's been having me farming for days to get certain stuff. I got God roll mods. I love the motherly love gloves. All my builds have 13% as an attribute on it. So 13% assault rifle damage, 13% SMG, shotgun, whatever you want to call it. I have multiple of those, and it come with perfectly opportunistic, which is dope, especially for shotgun builds. And I think it's either rifle or marksman rifle builds, but it's actually dope. Now let's get into the stuff that I'm not happy with. Okay. Before I even get into that, Ubisoft is going down a road to where it's almost a point of no return now, because Division 2 was a fail. You know, all of us as Division content creators, which I am not one of those people who came into the community just to leech off of the game, get subscribers and views and leave like certain big YouTubers have, and you guys know those names. But I've actually been here in the community since Division 1, since I've been doing content for Division since like 1.6. So I came into the Division kind of late. I did content in 1.6 in Division 1, but I came into the game in like 1.4. And the content that I used to make back then it's just like so many different ways you can make builds, especially with the Ninja Backpack meta, where you can mix and match Alpha Bridge, Predator's Mark, Tactician, Firecrest, like Prey Banshee, everything, Alpha Banshee. You can do so many different things in basically Division 1. I think Division 2 started off on a bad note by not putting, if it sounds like my nose is stuffy, I'm sick still. So they started off on a bad foot by not putting every brand set in the game should have a 6-piece. Me personally, I think every brand set in the game should start it off with a 6-piece, because it would have made so much different kind of build diversity instead of just running the meta. The meta back then was Clutch, Berserk, Strain, Vector, whatever the case may be, and that's what the meta was when the game first came out. Now Ubisoft has gotten to a point where they have lost stock in a company. If you guys don't believe me, just look it up. They have lost stock in a company. Breakpoint was a bust, okay? Breakpoint was a bust. I don't want nobody defending. I don't care about nobody defending Breakpoint or anything like that. Breakpoint was a bust, okay? I think what made Breakpoint a bust is the fact that it was heavily monetized, okay? If that game wasn't heavily monetized, maybe it would have had a chance to actually, you know, grow. But that game, me personally, that game died within like a week or two. And it's a bust, and even Ubisoft even talked about it. They have investors and stuff that's bagging out of Ubisoft. Ubisoft has also pushed their games, some of their upcoming releases back because the state of what the company is in. So that raises this question for me. What happens to Division 2 content? If Ubisoft is struggling as a company in the whole, and I think Red Storm is the company that do, or no, not Red Storm, is it Massive that does, you know, the stuff for Division? What kind of budget do they have now if they're not actually getting money from Ubisoft? Like if Ubisoft is having these problems as in a company wise, how is this going to affect Division 2 content that's supposed to be coming out? That's my question. What's going to happen with Division? What's next for Division? All right. One thing I also don't like about Division 2 is they still are not working on the mechanics. The number one issue for me was the mechanics. I don't like, it's very wonky, it's very sluggish, it moves weird, it moves funny. And I just don't, it's not snappy. They had a blueprint from Division 1. Okay, they had a blueprint from Division 1, even though you had your chicken dancing and your quick strafing and all that stuff. but the blueprint for mechanic wise for the character movement was 100% A1. And they should have took that same type of system and improved it in Division 2. But instead they did a whole different system, and it kind of makes PvP feel like it's not intense. It's not intense like that, because with Division 1, you could fight a whole server from DZ1 all the way to the top of the DZ, tunnel people, pop heals on the go, pop a post, strafe, run around, pop a blue, get distance from people, pop attack, mow down about 20 people that's in front of you as a team, a 4-man team. And that's what made Division so intense when it came to PvP. It was so intense in PvP that PvEers wanted to come to the Dark Zone and try out PvP. Now, even though they would get smacked, but it was still that experience of like playing in the Dark Zone. We don't have that same type of feel for Division 2. There's no intense factor in Division 2 when it comes to PvP. Yes, y'all added one new map in Conflict. That's it. But that's not going to cut it, all right? So next month is Need for Speed and Star Wars, which I will have both of those games. So with that being said, Call of Duty has came out and made 600 million in 3 days. This Modern Warfare has sold more than any of the Call of Duties that it came out in the first 3 days. Call of Duty is actually smashing player bases like Breakpoint, Division, Gears of War, all these different games except for like Fortnite and Apex. It's actually taking players from their communities and bringing them over to Call of Duty. And I'm not mad at them, because Call of Duty is a great game. I think it's way too campish, but I think Ubisoft should have that mindset. Oh, okay, if we want our players to stay, what can we do? And I have 3 things that you can put in the game, all right, that'll bring people back. And I believe that will be a good asset to the game. It will bring more players back. It will keep a lot of players around if it's done correctly. Number 1, you need to bring back survival. Point blank, period. You need to bring back survival, because that is the most voted or talked about game mode that people want back in the Division. I don't understand how you would have a PvE/PvP game and not bring back the hypest mode that people want. You gotta listen to the people, or the game is going to hemorrhage like it is now. 2, me personally, bring Last Stand back. I fucking love Last Stand. Conflict can go out the window. Okay, bring Last Stand back, because Last Stand it was intense. Wasn't it like an 808? It was like an 8v8, 16 people in a lobby going ballistic for these points, and it made it intense that you can roll with your squad. Okay, we going, you got A, B, and C. We just capture C, they capture A, but we all fighting for B. You can either go to B and fight for B the whole time, or you can split off and go to theirs and cap theirs, so you can have A and C. That's what made Last Stand so dope. And I kind of think they need to bring that back into Division 2 if they want people to come back. The third thing, I think they need to bring back the Underground. And I think this Underground need to be amplified times 1,000,000 than the other Underground that we had. Because if y'all notice something, y'all know when we do these missions for our division, for the Division 1 people, you notice how we used to do like underground stuff and do missions and run into hunters? You don't run into hunters on this game. The only time you'll run into a hunter is at a certain time at nighttime to actually go get a mask from them. But they're not actually inside of a mission like that, or in the underground, in the sewers, anything like that to make it just, you know, pop out. I think they should do that. I really think they should do that. But in all in the game is in a pretty decent spot right now. TU6, like I said, is not even gonna last a month. Because we already figured out what the metas is, and the metas is stinger bleed builds and shotguns, okay, and somewhat clutch builds. And now, since that's set in stone, a lot of people won't use a lot of different type of builds. Now, I'll make different kind of builds, but a lot of people won't make it a lot of different type of builds. But PvP wise, right now, I think there's probably, I'm going to say this, I might be wrong, but I think there's more PvP players playing this game now than PvE. I think a lot of PvE players got snatched away when Borderlands and all this other stuff came out. And once again, as history repeats itself, what was the main reason, what was the main reason that Division 1 stayed so hyped and got Division 2 super hyped? The PvP community. From the 1v1s to West 42nd to fighting servers to comp servers to all type of stuff. Server fights, clan fights, tournaments, Gourmet J type tournaments. All this stuff led over to Division 2 being hyped, which was the PvP community. And the fact that they're not trying to cater anything towards the PvP community, it shows the lack of interest that they're going to have in this game, because that is what made Division 2 so hype. But I just want to see what you guys got to say. You guys heard what I needed to say about, even though it's a little lengthy, I don't care. Y'all guys heard what I had to say about what I think they need to do for the Division in the future. I think they kind of need to drop that content, underground, survival, last stand, probably December, January. Because don't forget, we still got Cyberpunk coming out next year. So you guys need to be on that. Even though probably 9 times out of 10 it's not going to happen, but it is what it is. But y'all let me know what y'all think about TU6, how it needs to be, you know, what can be changed, what can be brought into the game, the future of the game. Just tell me what you guys think, and respectfully. All right. But it's your boy Eazyy TV. I appreciate you guys stopping by, and I'm out.